The provincial government's 6.4 cent per litre temporary gas tax cut is set to expire at the end of this year, but there are calls to make the cuts permanent. For more on this, we are joined by Jay Goldberg. He is with the Ontario and Inter-Atlantic Director for the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. Thank you so much for joining us, Jay. Obviously, this is a very tough time for many people out there. We just had a conversation with a food economist about the rising cost of food, but also energy prices and filling up the tank has definitely hurt people. Why does your federation think that this is a good solution moving forward?
Right. Well, we think it's a good solution because the tax cut has been in place for about 13 months now, and the average two-car family here in Ontario has saved over $400 thanks to this gas tax cut by the Ford government. It is set to expire at the end of the year if the Ford government doesn't act. It's been very helpful for families, as I say, left $400 more in people's pockets than would have otherwise been the case. And so we're calling on the Ford government to make this permanent. We don't want to see a gas tax hike at the end of the year. And, you know, some people may not realize, but we're paying 52 cents for every liter in gas taxes. So every time you fill up at the pumps, each liter, 52 cents of that is taxes. And if the Ford government allows this tax cut to expire, that'll go up to 58 cents a liter.
How do you think that's going to impact drivers and Canadians?
Well, it impacts people across the board. Obviously, it's more expensive to take your kids to school. It's more expensive to get to work, but it's also more expensive to get goods to you. And what I mean by that is, you know, everything we need is trucked in by diesel, whether it's at the grocery store or it's clothing stores. And so because everything we need has to get from the point of production to the point of a delivery, we are paying for that. So higher gas prices and higher diesel prices means that the price of everything goes up because everything has to be transported. And so I think that's the larger view of things that, you know, when we say families have saved $400, that's families at the gas pump, but families have saved far more when it comes to taming inflation by lowering the cost of moving goods from point A to point B. And if we let the gas tax go back up again, that could help feed inflation further.
Jay, has there been any response from the provincial government in regards to, the request to make sure that this doesn't expire?
Well, they've certainly said stay tuned. The Ford government has extended the gas tax cut once. It was supposed to expire at the end of last year. They extended it for another year. And I'm very hopeful that Finance Minister Bethlen Falvey and Premier Ford will make the decision to either make this permanent, would be the best case scenario, or to extend it again would be the other. But now is not the time to be raising costs for Ontarians and hardworking families. And so we're really hopeful that the government will act on this file.
Moving forward, obviously, this is, as we've been talking about, we've got a housing affordability crisis here. We've been dealing with increasing prices at the grocery stores. And when you factor in energy costs, obviously, this is, affecting people in so many ways. Talk a little bit about, some of the information that your federation can offer people that is accessible to them on your website. What kind of information can people find out to learn more about how they might be able to save some money down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to taxpayer.com to check that out. And, we're really trying to be at the forefront here, promoting affordability for Canadians, whether it's making sure that this gas tax cut goes forward, whether it's talking about the carbon tax, which right now is 14 cents for every liter of gas you fill up, but by 2030, it's going to be 55 cents. And so we're really trying to advocate here to let folks know, taxpayers know in Toronto and all across Ontario and Canada, that this is one bit of good news from the Ford government. We saw that tax cut, but we know costs are going up absolutely everywhere. Part of the reason for that is inflationary government spending, deficit upon deficit, all the borrowing we've had. So we're really advocating that the government get its house in order. Ontario's budget is in decent shape. The feds really have to do a lot of work there. And definitely not to be raising taxes on Canadians further, because higher taxes just fuels inflation.
Jay Goldberg with the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. We appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.